admit that I always look like a pole. Like I'm so flat. Like I legit don't have boobs. I don't have ass. Like I wish I did. Like that was like the point where like I wish like I was thick, you know, and that was probably like my main concern. The other things were like pretty small. It's probably body hair, you know, having hairy legs and arms.
Right. I mean, with insecurities, there's like levels to this shit.
Yeah,
like, there's
yeah.
top like. I guess like the most debilitating one would usually be like your top 1, top 2.
Yeah, exactly.
And then everything else is like a little bit smaller on the list. And I think that's really interesting just because like when did the whole insecurity of being so skinny and wanting and then this, you know, this desire to like be a thicker girl, when did that start? Just because, you know, per my memory at least, growing up when we were, let's say, back in elementary school, and we're like around the same age, you know?
Yeah.
Like around elementary school, middle school, especially middle school, holy shit, bitch, that was the time where everybody wanted to be built like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, because that's also the thing with like when you're talking about beauty trends, you know, like a body, like what's considered beautiful. I mean, think about it. Marilyn Monroe, she used to be kind of like heralded as the epitome of beauty, you know, with like that body size. But then, you know, people today, they look at Marilyn Monroe and they're like, nah, that bitch is fat as shit.
Exactly. Beauty standards evolve over time.
Yes.
Over the years. Yeah.
Yeah. So when did like the whole insecurity of being super skinny started with you?
I think it started like a few years ago. Like I think it started with like you know, like during where like people were
the Kardashians.
Yeah, they were like glorifying the Kardashians, and like I know that like in the Indo at least, it's more like the skinny white. You know, it's not really like the thick, but like I kind of wanted that. I guess the grass is always greener on the other side, right? You always want something that you don't have.
Exactly. Yeah. What about today?
Today, I guess.
Where are you at?
I'm more accepting about it. Like I feel like, you know what, this is how, you know, I was born, and like there's no other way around it because I legit tried it all. Like, you know, I bought like the weight gainers, like the susu penambah berat.
What's that one milk here in Indo called? Ada tuh yang.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Is it that? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And then got supplements and what else? Like there was so plenty. And then, you know, like workout routines to make like your bust bigger or your ass. It's like
squats
I put so much time and energy into it. It was like, I don't know, like now I'm more happy with the way I look.
And also very interesting because your number one insecurity that you've grappled with for a long time, like it's a physical insecurity, whereas like with me, my biggest one is actually not physical related at all. Mine is more of an internal thing.
Yeah.
Where my biggest insecurity, Peter, I feel like you know, I've talked about it. Do you not pay attention to me when I talk? I'm gonna fire you. No, my biggest insecurity was always to do with the perception of people's perception of whether or not they think I'm smart.
Okay.
So I've always had this, I don't want to say complex, but it always really mattered to me to be validated based off of my intelligence.
Yeah.
And the biggest compliment that I always wanted to get from everybody was being acknowledged as somebody who's smart.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the easiest way to. Why are you sitting like that? Oh, okay. You're distracting me. I'm kidding. I just want to bully Peter today. But yeah, I feel like that would be the quickest. That would be the quickest way for anybody to try and ruin me. I don't know if I should be putting this online because it's like giving away my secrets, but
okay.
Like probably if you wanted to absolutely fucking ruin me and make me kill myself, man, that's like if everybody just kind of like ganged up on me and like, you know, like everybody on the internet talking about how, Indah's not even that smart, you know, like she's a dumbass, like she's a fucking dumb blonde, you know, like shit like that. That would probably ruin me. I've always had such an insecurity about what, like being perceived as incompetent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wait, so you're not scared of like getting canceled. You're more scared of people not thinking that like you're smart enough.
Actually, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because, okay, like if people try to cancel me, it's like, I know how to work my way around that, right? But then, I mean, yeah, my biggest insecurity is just straight up like people thinking I'm stupid.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure no one's thinking that.
I hope not. I hope not. But, well, I guess with the exception of my mother, this is turning into another one of those like therapy sessions for me. I guess with the exception of my mother, which is why I asked you, like, where did it come from, right? Because a lot of insecurities usually, like, you think about it, a lot of people, it's either classmates, right?
Yeah.
Or parents.
Exactly.
Did your parents ever, like, body shame you?
No, but my parents did Okay, so the externally is probably the body image, but internally I also have like insecurities, probably regarding to being compared to like other people, or
in
like
what domain?
in everything, and like looks, money, lifestyle, achievements,
right?
Especially like growing up in an Asian household, it was always constantly like my parents were comparing me to like, oh, you know, my kid's kay gini, my kid's kay gini, and like her kid's kay gini. It's like, it's annoying.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
like let me, you know, like let me grow into my own person. Let me like, you know, figure myself out before
Right.
like you try to like compare me to other people. It was just very toxic.
Right. Yeah. I feel like that's maybe like what you and me, we share in common, is that we grew up, especially as Asians, like in a very hyper competitive environment. Yeah. I got a lot of my insecurity of being perceived as incompetent and being perceived as stupid.
Yeah.
I 100%, I get it from my mom. I got it like from like probably two of the biggest factors that usually shapes a child. Like I got it from my mom, especially a lot at home, but I was also getting it a lot at school. And at school, like at least with me, like when I was younger, like I did not perform that well academically.
Oh, you didn't?
I really did not. If anything, like at some point, especially elementary school and like the earlier years of middle school, like I was always scoring the bottom of my grade. And you know, looking back at it, it wasn't even anything that was a fault, like it wasn't even my fault that like I didn't study or whatever. But
did your parents put you down for that? Like did your parents actually put you down for that?
My mom, she put me down for it. Oh yeah, by the way, my mom's a single mom, right? So I only have one parent. Yeah, but my mom only put me down for it when it came to the subjects that matter to her. So like mathematics, for example, which is like the stereotypical Asian, you know, Asian parents, like they only care about math. Yeah, you know, I've always been good at English, so probably English was like the only thing that I was scoring. I actually, I remember I was always top of the class when it came to English, but everything else I was always bottom of the class. Mathematics, science, like the whole nine. And it wasn't even just like, it's not because I'm stupid or whatever, even though everybody made it feel like, you know, it was a problem with me, but it was, you know, looking back, I had a very turbulent household. So there was really no, I didn't have the space that every other kid had to like go to tutoring and study at home. You know what I mean? So, you know, things like that. So it was just like, it's out of my control. And then, like my grades suffer. And then everybody just, I got bullied a lot because I had bad grades. Yeah. And my mom would always call me, even until today, to be honest, which is why it's like an insecurity that I'm still somewhat grappling with, because she always calls me otak kecil.
Until now?
Even until now, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's something.
Wait, does she actually mean it? Or
oh yeah, no, she wholeheartedly means it. Yeah. So probably it's like, I don't know if anybody out there on the internet that's ever seen me, like, I don't think they would think that I'm stupid. I don't think I portray myself as somebody who is.
No, you don't.
Yeah. But you know, the only exception being my mother.
Okay.
Who just thinks I'm dumb. So yeah, very long-winded.
I think mine was, I was always so worried about what other people would think of me. I wasn't always this secure and confident. I was actually a very insecure, shy, timid, unsure child. Like it was like, I was always so scared of what other people would think of me and how I would be perceived if I say this, if I say that, or, you know, if I post this on Instagram, like how would people take it? And it was like, so tiring. It took a lot out of me because, you know, I'm always worried about like so many different things. And I think that was like, I don't know if that's an insecurity, but yeah, I was always wrapped up in my head about what other people would think of me. Right.
Yeah, no, that one we share in common. I've always, I coined mine as BTM mindset. I have the be the most mindset.
Yeah.
Because I've always sort of, I think it's been the result of, you know, for both you and me, I think it's been the result of our environment of just like, because, you know, everything's super competitive and like, we come from very hyper capitalistic cultures as well, where it's like, you have to be the most, you got to have the most. Yeah. Right. So it really gets to you. I guess in terms of like physical insecurity, you know what? I don't know if y'all gonna believe me on this one, but you know, hand to God, like a lot of people would assume, and rightfully so, like I understand why they would assume that I would be like a physical insecurity that I grapple a lot with would be acne, because I struggle a lot with acne. I do, right? Acne is a problem for me and it's been for like a really long time, but I'm actually not that insecure about it.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I don't know if you've ever like seen me on Instagram. Like,
true. Because there's some like videos where you just do not care. You're like, your
bitch.
acne creams are everywhere.
Bitch, I roll out of bed.
Yeah, okay.
Bitch, I roll out of bed looking like that. I do not give a fuck. But that's not to say that I've never felt insecure about it. Don't get me wrong. Of course, like it comes in waves. But like, I guess like on the whole, I'm not as insecure about the acne as a lot of people might think. I guess a big physical insecurity. I guess like now, acne I don't really care much about. You know what? I don't know about now, but I used to be so hyper insecure about my arms.
Arms?
Yeah.
Why? What's wrong with it?
'Cause I used to have fat arms, bitch.
What do you mean?
Like fat, like you know what I mean? Like just fat arms. I used to have fat arms, and it would just look bad, like especially like posing from the side and everything. I don't know anybody else.
Are you working out now? Is that?
Oh, bitch, I work out every day. Yeah.
It looks good now.
Oh yeah, no, bitch, not now. I'm like,
yeah.
Now I'm like, I don't know if like the light's picking it up. Like with muscle, like you gotta you gotta have good lighting. But I'm like, tone that shit now. So now I'm good.
Girl, like, can I just say, like, your TikTok videos has a lot of hate comments.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. like, does that never get to you?
It depends on what type of hate comments. Isn't it the same with you?
Yeah, I do.
Right?
I do
it
get
depends
hate comments,
because
but
the thing with me, at least personally, I get a lot of hate comments. Let's say like if the whole fucking LGBT gender neutral bathroom type shit, and obviously like we're here in Indonesia, and a lot of people they don't really fuck with LGBT, right? And when it's stuff like that, and when they're leaving hate comments that are like, "Oh, you support LGBT? Are you a fucking lesbian? I hope you rot in hell, you fucking lesbian." Stupid shit like that. Where I know they're just projecting.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, right?
Okay.
I've gotten death threats. I don't know about you. I've gotten death threats. I mean, okay, for somebody like me, it makes sense to get death threats just because like of the nature of like my content. I've even gotten like fucking.
Oh my god.
I've gotten. Oh my god, this is so bad. I've gotten like fucking hijabi mommies like in the DMs because I remember I had this one like kind of big scandal, I suppose, where I was like calling like a little kid stupid, and then like as a joke, it was a joke, but I had like DMs from like all these moms, bro, like can you even believe it? Like they were leaving me DMs like, "Gua doain lu impoten ya lonte." Shit like that, and then you open their profile and it's like a Quran quote or like a Bible verse, and I'm like,
okay,
oh gosh, okay. So it depends. But then if it's like the type of hate comments where it's like, I guess they have a point, or like it's a fair point, stuff like that, or maybe if it's just like, probably stuff like that, like it would probably get to me. What about you?
Initially it did.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember when I started TikTok,
mm-hmm.
like when I got hate comments, it got to me for a bit, and then after that, now I just silence my notifications. I don't actually read my comments anymore because I feel like that gives me so much more peace in life.
Do you read her comments for her?
She does.
Yeah.
Only the funny ones.
Oh.
Like the goldfish that's more moisturized than people that comments. Yeah. Right. No, but in general, like you manage her comments, right? You manage her account so that she don't gotta read the comments herself.
Well,
no,
she doesn't. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't really remove. Do you remove the comments, like the very hateful ones?
No, I don't remove anything. So I leave everything there. Just leave evidence.
Yeah, it's fine. Bad publicity is still publicity, though.
I mean, shit. At the end of the day, you still commenting on my shit anyway. You still boosting my shit. Yeah, you still boosting my shit. I don't care. I don't care. I'm on my end. Like I live in a nice place. I got a bed. I got food and everything. Like you're over there leaving hate comments during your 5-minute shitter break, like working as a mall janitor. I don't fucking care.
No, that's exactly. I don't understand like people's what do they exactly think when they're like, oh, there's a video I don't like, and then instead of just like scrolling past through, they go through the link to like, oh, I actually want to leave like a hate comment. Like I don't get it.
And you know what? It's not even just that. Maybe if it's like 1 or 2 words or like maximum 1 sentence, I can still sort of like fathom it. But the ones that really just baffle the shit out of me is when I open my DM, bro. I open my DM and I get like an entire paragraph, like an entire essay of somebody telling me I'm about to go to hell, and it's like, man, I know your ass is fucking ngangguran, bro. I know your ass is ngangguran. There's no fucking way. I don't got that time of day to even write you a paragraph on your birthday.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's Peter. So no. Do you feel like, on the topic of insecurities, do you feel like being on social media has exacerbated any of the ones that you had?
Of course. insane. I think it's like social media was what made it even worse, because like you're always going to be like comparing yourself to like other people, especially like back then when I was a really insecure little bitch. Like when I was like scrolling through my Instagram and then I see like a pretty girl picture, and instead of like just admiring her and be like, oh wow, she's so gorgeous, instead I'm like, oh, why can't I look like that?
Yeah.
You know, like it was bad. Like
right.
like you're just constantly. It's also like achievements, because I actually have a lot of friends who are in like Forbes 30 and 30,
right.
and then you know say like, or like my friend, like some of my friends are like really big influencers,
right,
and then I'm like, shit, they're like my age and then they're doing so much already, like why am I like not there yet? You know, and it sucked, you know, having to compare yourself to like especially when like, you know, everyone's journey is like very different, right? You have your own timelines and stuff like that.
With me being on social media, I realized that, because basically what happened with me is that social media kind of like fell on my lap accidentally, right? And same thing with you too. But it's because like one video went viral like on YouTube, and then it coincided with when I started posting on TikTok. And so I got like a lot of followers immediately from the get-go, you know, like few days, like 10K, you know. And like first few videos, and it's like 50K, and then 75K, and then, you know, 100K views. Right? And so I started off really, really strong. And what's happened is that, well, now when it's like I get a video view that's like probably only, let's say 25K. And in my head, I'm thinking, shit, that's only 25K.
Is that discouraging though?
And I don't know about discouraging. It doesn't discourage me in the sense that, you know, it makes me want to stop, but then it gives me sort of like an inferiority complex, because I get sometimes like in my own head of like, damn, like, you know, people from back in high school and college, like, you know, my fucking haters, right? You know, my fucking haters, like they're lurking around my fucking profile. They're, you know, checking like how many views I'm getting, you know, and how many like followers I'm getting. As if anybody cares about me that much besides my own mother. Because to be honest, it's because my mother does that to me that I'm thinking everybody else does that.
Does your mom watch your content?
Yeah, everything.
Okay. What does she think about it?
She has her opinions. Okay. she has her opinions, but I'm still alive. So yeah, but it's like, right, I see like maybe for example a video like gets 25, and in my head I'm thinking that's only 25K. But when you really think about it, bitch, like an entire stadium is usually 25,000 people. You know what I mean? And it's, or maybe even not even like 25K, bitch, like 100. If your video only got 100 views and you're thinking, oh, it's only 100 views because we live in a time with like technology and everything. We're so used to seeing big numbers. But if 100 people walk through my door right now, you'd be like, bitch, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I didn't realize I had that until, you know, like I started TikTok, and I get what you mean, because as like a content creator, like, you know, sometimes like your videos, like you get really good, like, you know, momentum, but then after that it's a very slow period, and then it kind of hits you in a bit, because then I don't know, at least for me, like it kind of hit like my self-esteem for a bit. I was like, am I not capable of making good content anymore? Or, you know, do people not find me interesting anymore? Like it's, it really hits you.
Right. You take that shit personally.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. And like, you know, by the off chance that any content creator, like any other content creator out there is watching this, you know, just know that when your video doesn't get the same amount of views, or like, you know, you're not getting as much followers as you normally do on average, a lot of the times like it really don't got nothing to do with you. It's just like we're at the mercy of an algorithm that doesn't give a shit about how we feel. Right? Yeah. What were the things that you used to waste time and energy on all because you were insecure?
I think, like I said, like those were the body image part. Like I, you know, took a lot of like gainers and all these things, which did not work for me. Like I swear, those were like, I wasted so much time thinking about that, and like
the whole like drinking milk to make yourself gain weight.
Exactly. And like the money spent on that, the energy. It's like, and then I realized it's really not that big of a deal.
I guess it would have been the opposite for me, because like, you know, you're someone who's just naturally born skinny. I'm not fat, I'm not skinny, I'm kind of just like in the middle, which sometimes can be a little bit annoying, just because it's like, I don't know how to put it, but I'm just kind of like right in the middle. And I think it's because I am right in the middle. And sometimes, you know what I always struggled with, especially I think because I grew up in a predominantly westernized environment, but I live in an Eastern country. And everybody always had very severely different opinions and perceptions of how my body is in terms of size. So some people would be looking at me and think I'm super, super skinny, right? And then other people would call me fat. Yeah, exactly. Right? So and because I'm kind of like in that middle where it's like, it's a very gray area. And so it really frustrated me a lot. And there came a point where I was really obsessed with getting, you know, like your type of skinny, right? Really? So, 100%. And do you know of like those skinny detox teas, like those slimming teas? Yeah, those are horrible. Yeah. My goodness, so fucking horrible, so bad for your health. It just makes you shit a lot.
Yeah, it does. It just removes like it's basically a fiber drink, where like you just basically shit a lot. Yeah,
exactly. And those are expensive too, right? And this wasn't happening like when I had a platform and like, I guess sent free shit. Like this was like when I was still like, a fucking high schooler. And I guess that's like what I look back on as also what's so painful about it is that, damn, you were only a high schooler. Why'd you do that to yourself? Yeah. I guess what else did I used to do? Did you ever like, what about with like makeup? Like, did you ever like spend long hours like putting on like excessive makeup just to like look good and
Yeah, I guess there were. I'm pretty sure it was a period of time where I didn't like say my skin, or I was trying to cover up an imperfection. Right. And yeah, probably. Did you?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And I think that's probably the most common thing. Yeah. Right? Of like, that scene from Euphoria, Cassie at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, 4 a.m. doing her makeup and routine. Yeah.
And look, maybe people are not waking up at 4 a.m., but then, definitely people, and I've been there, done that, so I'm not judging anybody if like this is where you're at now, but it's like, yeah, like people spend a lot of money on a lot of makeup and also, on today's topic, a lot of plastic surgery, a lot of injections, right? It's a lot of time and a lot of money put into trying to cover up insecurities that just, Sometimes that's why sometimes it gets to me whenever you and we have long days. And I'm really, let's say I'm just having a bad day, right? Which happens sometimes. And I am not in the best zone. I'm not in my usual zone. And I'm not as articulate as I normally am, because I'm tired or whatever. And then like if we catch that shit on camera, and I spiral so much sometimes just thinking about that. Just because it's the whole insecurity of like, shit, I'm not being articulate here. And because I'm not articulate, people are going to think I'm dumb. And it's also because I've kind of built this brand of like, especially on TikTok, right? I've kind of built this brand of like just debater girl. And like she spits facts and, she's super articulate. And so come the days where I'm not articulate because I'm susceptible to having bad days where I'm just not and I'm not feeling it. But then, it gets to me because I'm like, okay, shit, then like, what if I'm actually just not that articulate? And what if I'm just actually not that smart?
So it really gets you.
Oh, super. Like even until today, but I will say like, especially because like earlier this year I took a hiatus because I nearly wanted to kill myself. And I've had to work on a lot of like, I've had to do a lot of healing. I've done a lot of meditating, Peter.
How's it been since you meditated?
Honestly, it's been. I still struggle with meditation just because I can't get my mind to shut the fuck up. But like, but I've been journaling a lot. I've been listening to a lot more podcasts that are not politically charged, because I've always been a podcast girl, but I love politics, and that's pretty obvious about me. But I love the politically charged, angry content, Like, earlier this year I made more of like the conscious decision of like, let's tune into Jay Shetty. You know Jay Shetty, right?
I do.
Yeah, no, fucking love Jay Shetty. And ever since then, it's just been like, I feel myself just like progressively healing.
Do you feel like you're in a better place right now?
I do. Yeah, no, actually, this is probably like minus the whole me grieving the loss of my dog, but yeah, that's like.
I'm so sorry, by the way.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It comes in waves, but yeah. Besides that, I actually think this is like probably the best I've been in like forever. This is like probably the best version of myself that's ever existed. And yeah, what about you?
Which part? What was the question?
Of like just like where are you at right now? Like
I feel I had a really shitty month. Like I did. Like last month was so shitty for me. I think that was actually the part where like I was actually posting less content too, and it was like I was not being consistent, and then it took a really big toll on me because I also felt like I wasn't doing good enough. I've suddenly, I don't know why, there was like a night where like I was scrolling through all my content and I was literally nitpicking every single part of the video. Like, do you do that? Do you watch your own content and you're like, oh shit? Like,
I try to avoid it, but then sometimes it just sometimes. But I try not to go too far back because I know that shit is gonna make me jump off a building. Like, nah. And I swear to God, if anybody, like, please do not start going to my TikTok profile and liking my first ever video, but like, go all the way down my first ever video. If I had to see that shit one more time, I'll shoot myself.
Okay, I will do it.
Oh my God, I am firing you. Oh my God, I am firing you. I'm firing you and I'm gonna murder your whole family in Shirabon. Oh my God, do not do that. Yeah, no, sorry, back to you.
Well, yeah, so it was bad. I was like really like being so self-critical. Like I was criticizing myself so badly.
So it was it was a performance insecurity essentially.
I guess, yeah. It was like I no one else is this hard on me as I am this hard on myself. Like I feel like everyone else is like, oh, we love your content, we love your energy, we love your vibe. It's mostly positive, but I don't know why I kept feeling like it wasn't enough,
Do you get shit, what is it called? Impostor syndrome?
Yeah, I do. No, I get really bad imposter syndrome. Yeah.
Because I would get comments of people, like telling me, oh my gosh, you're so smart and you're so pretty and you're so, you're compliments, right? Like I get a lot of compliments, like just to be an online figure now, and as I'm sure you do too. But with me, it's like I have the tendency of just not believing it, and like in my head, like in the very back of my head, I kind of always I would read it and I'd be like, nah, this person's got to be lying. Like they're just trying to kiss my ass, But then I logic with myself, and I'm like, why the fuck would they need to kiss my ass? I'm a fucking nobody on the internet. Like and people tend to just like leave their like honest to God opinions and feelings online. Especially if it's behind an anonymous account. And so it's like, but I have that habit. I have that immediate impulse. Like every time I get a compliment, whether it's from some stranger on the internet but especially if it's like a kanalan of mine, like a friend of mine, where it's like, I think, bitch, your ass is lying.
Yeah.
You too?
Yeah, me too. But it was especially apparent when you go to influencer events, right?
Yeah.
Like when you meet a lot of like influencers and stuff, and then like and then that's when my imposter syndrome like usually peaks, because I'm like, shit, I'm like, the reality that like, wow, I'm like now surrounded by so many of like these like amazing people.
They got more followers than me.
They got more followers than me. They got more clout. Wow, they're more well known. It's like you're constantly questioning yourself. I felt like a fraud in most of these events because I felt like I wasn't there yet, and like I don't deserve this.
Right.
Yeah, and it was very negative self-talk.
And disclaimer, I'm not also saying that I regret the advent of social media and that social media is this fucking horrible thing. Obviously it's not, and it's given people like me and Jazz like our careers and like our lives.
Yeah.
Social media is great when it is utilized for something good, but it's the flip side of one of the disadvantages of social media too is how it's put a magnifying glass on all of our insecurities.
Yeah.
Like I do think the reason why, and studies have shown this, like depression rates, anxiety rates, like mental health has just like deteriorated significantly since social media. Since social media, just because like we're on our phones 24/7 and we're looking at everybody's highlight reels.
Exactly. Like perfectly like these are perfectly like curated content too. Like these are you never see like what goes behind all that. So like you're always constantly comparing yourself to the best version of someone else. I stopped caring so much about what other people think of me, because I feel like I just realized that most people are also very obsessed with their own insecurities, and they're too busy worrying about their own insecurities to even be thinking about yours, to even be thinking about you. Even if you did like an embarrassing thing, like say like 5 years ago, like no one remembers that except for you, like no one actually thinks about you as much as you think about yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. I remember like there's when I was like 11, 12-ish, I used to have like a birthmark like in my face, on my face, like on like a mole, like a small mole. So honestly, it's really not that big. It's not hairy or anything. It didn't pop out or something. But I was so insecure about it. Like I woke up in the morning, I saw myself in the mirror. I was like, I hated it. That was like the only thing I hated on my face. Like, I was like, I need to get it removed. But of course, my parents wouldn't let me do it because it was a birthmark, right? Like, they didn't want me to lose, like, my personality in that, I guess. And then I saved enough money and I went behind my parents' back and then I actually got it removed. I went to, like, a beauty clinic and I got, like, a mole removal, right? And then a few weeks after, no one noticed that my mole was gone. Like, not a single person was like, hey, what happened to your mole? But that's the thing. See, our own insecurities, like, only we notice it. Like, these are, like, our own insecurities that, like, you look at yourself in the mirror, like, should I hate this? I hate that. But, like, people don't really see that.
Right. And that's why, actually, I got a lot of DMs from people asking me, like, I don't know if this is gonna sound cringy, but I swear to God, like, hand to God, like, I get these, like, DMs, like, from people asking me, like, how are you so confident with yourself, blah blah blah, and all that, because people see I'm super fucking unhinged. I don't give a shit what I post on the internet, and I clearly don't give a shit what people think at this point, right? But once upon a time I did, right? And let me tell you, the thing that really changed my mind is when I realized. The thing that finally liberated me was the day I realized that actually nobody cares about you that much.
Yeah, exactly.
And I say that and people would be like, damn, okay, that sounds harsh. And okay, maybe that does sound harsh. But no, actually, it's a good thing.
Yeah,
you do not want other people to care about you as much as you care about yourself. You do not. Not in that way.
Exactly.
Not in that way. Yeah, and it's because we just tend to hyperfixate on the most minuscule part of ourselves or our bodies. Usually it's physical a lot of times, right? We hyperfixate on it so much. That's like me with, like, my bald spot. Not bald spot, but, like, I have, like,
I didn't even notice. See, I didn't know.
No. So that's why now I moved the parting of my hair to the side because my hairline on the side is receding, and it's always been a little bit more receded compared to the rest. And then I learned from Ray Nathaniel. Thank you, Ray, for telling me this, that a lot of it, like, with your hairline, is genetics. You really can't help it, right? So I was just born that way. And photos also just, like, confirm it because I've been that way since, like, out of the womb. I've always had, like, this part of my hairline just kind of, like, it's more up. And I don't really grow hair over there. But it's like, my mom, she always pointed out, like, oh, don't pull your hair, don't tie your hair up. Don't tie your hair up and, like, don't pull it so tight because, like, it's exaggerating your fucking bald spot over here. And so for so long, I hyperfixate on that so much. Nobody fucking notices it. That and my uneven eyelids. That one was recent. No. Because one day I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, what the fuck? Why am I?
Is it actually still uneven?
Is it now?
Is it not? It's not, right?
It is it fluctuates. So sometimes it's even and sometimes it's not because the eyelid on my left eye is drier than this one.
Okay.
Drier, I think it's a moisture thing because, like, when my face is, like, really, like, moisturized to the gods, it's even because it kind of, like, slips down. But then when it's dry, like this one, like, the eyelids is, like, you know, it kind of it does its thing. But then this one, like, my eyes are hooded. Yeah. And then one day, like, very recently, I started noticing that, and, like, I started, like, hyper fixating on it. Every time I, like, look at a photo of myself, I'm like, my eyelids. Nobody cares.
Exactly.
Nobody cares. I know y'all were enjoying the episode, but really quickly, I need to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Lean Lab. Lean Lab is a food manufacturing startup based in Bali, Indonesia that produce better food alternatives that are lower in calories and have better nutritional value, providing an innovative and delicious solution for millions of people to ease their shift towards a healthier lifestyle. As one of the pioneers of low-calorie food producers, Lean Lab developed the first ever peanut butter powder spread in Indonesia, which contains 90% less fat, high plant-based protein, and only 1/3 the calories of regular peanut butter. I've been consuming Lean Lab products since the early days of my content creation journey. I remember they were one of the first brands to ever send me PR back in November 2021, and ever since that day, eating fruits and vegetables has never been the same for me. Did you know that 87% of the world's population does not consume enough fruits and vegetables? That number used to include me up until a few years ago. Growing up, I remember my mom would have to hold a gun to my head in order to make me eat my fruits and veggies. And now I actually choose to eat fruits and veggies, but if and only if paired with Lean Lab's wide variety of spread flavors. I love eating carrot sticks, cucumber sticks, and apple slices, as you can see right here, with the original peanut butter spread. The Biscoff spread goes really well with apples and bananas. And berries with their hazelnut spread or the dark chocolate spread is fucking orgasmic. You guys have to try it. Lean Lab is available on e-commerce websites, Tokopedia, Shopee, Lazada. You can also find Lean Lab at Grand Lucky, Chemchicks, Food Hall, and other local grocery stores nationwide. And now back to the episode.
I actually read this really good book like a few weeks ago. It basically says like when you try to buy your way into having like a higher self-esteem, or you buy your way into confidence, like you'll always it is a battle that you cannot win, because you feel like you're always gonna be you need one more apartment upgrade, your one more Instagram picture, your one more outfit, or one more or like one more beauty treatment away to really being comfortable with yourself. And that's it just doesn't sit right with me, because you are like placing your sense of self onto something that's like on something that's outside of you. It's something that you cannot control. It's something that's like out of your reach,
right?
So you'll never be satisfied or fulfilled, because you feel like, oh, I'll only feel pretty once I have this, or I'll only feel enough when I have this. So unless you're willing to finally accept yourself and finally like yourself for who you are already, like nothing else is gonna make you happy.
I have the tendency of thinking that it's like, I'll finally be really self-assured and content with myself, like once, like for example, like I grow LB up to a certain level, or once I have enough, like I attain this many views on my podcast episodes, or I have this many followers, and I once I hit 1 million followers, then I'm gonna be a confident badass bitch. And then but realistically, I know one day I'm gonna hit 1 million and I'm still gonna think it's not enough, right? So
congrats on 100K, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
deserved it.
Milestone achieved. I'm being very careful to not, because I think that's also something that people like you and me, like we're in the more of like the public eye, like we have to work harder to humble ourselves down, right? Especially because like with social media, like it tends to be like from our ends, like as content creators, it tends to be just like an echo chamber of like yes men's, right? Of people like it's like your own little like fan, like your followers are kind of like your fans, and like they're always like validating you for this and that, and giving you compliments and everything. But one thing I appreciate about my followers, especially on Instagram, y'all keep it real with me. Like when I'm being full of shit and when I'm being problematic, and y'all have caught me plenty of times, and y'all be calling me out for it in like good in like a very civil, constructive way. And so I appreciate it. Y'all keep it real with me.
Are you good at like receiving criticism?
Oh, actually, yes.
Yeah?
Yes. That one I'm very confident. I am very good at receiving constructive criticism. But I have to underscore the part where it's constructive, and also what a lot of people tend to forget, civil.
Yeah.
But otherwise, when it's constructive and when it's done in a civil way, I'm Gucci. What about you?
So that does not hurt your ego in any way?
No, I think one thing that I really do like about me is that I'm very good at separating, I guess just being objective. Yeah, I guess I'm very good at separating facts from feelings.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to take a lot of things personally. I used to get offended a lot.
Yeah.
But like, that's why I was so obsessed with like reading the comments, like back then.
Right.
And then like trying to prove people wrong. But now I realize it's taking a lot of energy out of me that is very unnecessary.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I used to do that too, but it's coming more so from the place of I've always been somebody like I love fighting. I've always been very combative and argumentative. And at some point, especially like earlier in my career of doing social media, I would be scrolling through the comments, and it's not I'm not looking for the constructive criticism. Like I will get constructive criticism, and that one I'm totally okay. I'm looking for the ones that are trying to fight. So it gives me a reason to be angry and to like make a video of me being all snarky and shit, and like post on my story of like just being problematic. So I've that.
Are you less problematic now, do you think?
I definitely think so. I think Peter would say the same thing. I used to be a lot more
controversial.
I think controversial. It's still controversial, but I would say I'm controversial for like for better reasons now. I guess I would say I've worked a lot on my attitude. I've always been very straight up with the fact that I've never always had the best attitude. I'm very I am like an actual bitch. I am an actual bitch. Like that one, but I don't deny that. Like, that's just kind of how I was. Yeah, that's how I came out.
My body type right now could be someone's ideal body type, or someone's body type could be, my ideal body type, and that's fine.
Right.
Like, of course, there's certain things that I would love to change back then, but now I actually like the way I look. So
yeah. What about your face?
I like my face, honestly. Not to sound narcissistic, but
no.
I think I'm pretty cute.
No. This is an episode where we're filling our oats and berries.
Yeah, exactly.
No, with me, I guess that's interesting. Like, you're the complete opposite. Even like on the physical sense, like I've always, besides the arms, right? I mean, I've always like been very insecure about the arms. Body was never that big of an issue compared to like my face. I've always just had a lot of. I've always had a lot of issues with my face. Particularly, like, I've never liked how round my face is. I've had a realization recently because I was talking with someone about this, right? I've kind of always had a little bit of an insecurity about how I'm not a hot girl, I'm a cute girl.
No, me too. I have the same problem.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I only kind of recently started realizing how, and that's what ties in with the round face. With the round face, like, it's more cute and you look a lot younger, but growing up, it was always, people kind of not put me down, but they didn't take me as seriously, and they kind of just like, stepped all over me and kind of just like, didn't take me seriously because they perceived me to be like, oh, she's just like, a cute little like girl, and like, I've always been like very bubbly and friendly, and then the physical appearance is also not threatening, right? And so people just kind of like do whatever they want, have whatever they want with me, and because of that, I think it's just an amalgamation of like my frustration of people not taking me seriously, and I know the reason why they don't is because anggapnya kan masih bocil.
Yeah, true.
Kan? Yeah, anggapnya masih bocil.
You have a baby face too,
Super.
So everything contributed to that.
Super. Yeah, no, I don't know if the camera picked it up, but I mean, Jasmine, she thought I was probably like what, like 22 or 23.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I did not know. I would never guess.
No, actually this whole Tiggs team, like awet muda, like I'm very awet muda, Peter's very awet muda, because Peter's like 32, but that face does not look 32.
No, it does not. Exactly.
At all. But it's like, because I look young, and then people don't take me seriously, they don't think I'm as experienced, whatever the fuck. But it's also because I don't know about you, I grew up in a very westernized environment, and Western beauty standards. I operated in an environment where we implemented Western beauty standards, and so with Western beauty standards, it's all about the fucking cut Angelina Jolie, like very
jawline,
very muka apa sih, what's that word in Indo, ganas, bukan ganas ya, kayak garang kan, you think of like Angelina Jolie, like all those Victoria's Secret models with like the high cheekbones, bukan boros, but it's just they look way more mature and sexy, ya kan?
They do,
right?
Yeah, mine too. Like that was I
don't find it sexy.
And see, that's the thing. It's like, because Peter was saying, because Peter literally just said just now, I don't find that sexy, and I mean, you kind of you talk to more men. Speaking from the perspective of like straight women here, you talk to more men, and then you realize just like how a lot of the beauty standards that have been promoted by the patriarchy of like, oh, men want super skinny girls with like very tall cheekbones and like very like Angelina Jolie-esque features and this and that and this and that. You go out and talk to straight men in real life, and it's like, no, like straight men's preferences for what they like and don't like in women, like it very much varies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I do agree. Because, like, I feel like I grew up in I had, like, westernized beauty standards, too. Like, that's why I wanted, I wanted cleavage. I wanted, like, big boobs. I wanted, like, a thick ass, you know, like a fat ass. Like, and I think that was more, like, of what, from the things I consume, say, on watching television or, like, seeing celebrities and things like that. But, yeah, I realized there's actually... I'm a lot of people's ideal person too. Like there could be men that are attracted to those kind of like the big booty and everything, but there are also like say men that are attracted to what I have. So that's fine. Like I do not have to be everyone's cup of tea.
Right. Do you believe that everybody is somebody's type?
Everybody is somebody's type,
and I really mean everybody.
I guess, yeah, of course. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Yeah.
No, because, okay, hold on. Because even with me asking that, I'm not even sure if everybody would encompass the people with, like, physical deformities. because like you know
I did not put that into consideration.
No, because you know we're transitioning into the topic of plastic surgery, right? But actually, before we get onto that, maybe let's just like start something simple. When it comes to plastic surgery, is there anything about you physically right now that you would get work done on?
I would get work done on my nose probably one day.
What's wrong with your nose?
I don't like it. Like, I don't like the side view. Like, if I look at the side, no, legit, this side profile, it just looks weird.
I feel like, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. This is going up on TikTok because I gotta hear from the children. Everybody hates their nose.
Yeah.
Peter, do you like your nose?
Kalau aku diem aja tuh suka like this. Tapi kalau aku senyum enggak.
Hah?
Because apa namanya?
Your nostrils flare?
Yeah. Terus dia jadi kayak.
Oh. I think every Asian just does not like their nose.
Girl, girl, it's not. I'm so 10 toes down about this one. Like all my white bitches, my black bitches, my Latino bitches, everybody just hates their nose. Like, everybody hates their nose. I think you gotta be a fucking psychopath or something to like your nose. or I don't know, maybe you're just like blessed with like the most attractive nose. I don't fucking know. But I've never heard anybody, like if you ask anybody what's a facial feature on you that you like the most, you're not gonna hear anybody say their nose.
Yeah. Do you like your nose?
No. No. Do you?
No.
Yeah. See, just nobody here likes our nose, like our own nose.
Would you get a nose job?
See, this is where. So you would get a nose job.
I would get a nose job.
I just would not. I'm a very different person now. I think and it's very interesting, right? Because it's also a testament to how much you can change over time. Because I think if you would have asked me this back when I was like 18, 19, I would have said, oh, hell fucking yeah. I wanted to get the fucking Mia Khalifa double D tits and everything. Oh, I used to be so obsessed with that. I wanted to get a boob job so bad because I wanted to like walk and have these babies bounce.
Yeah, me too.
I wanted that so fucking bad. But it's also because I was watching a lot of porn stars back then. But like, no, but you know, I think if you would have asked me back when I was like 18, 19, I would have said, oh, fuck yeah. But now, actually, I would not get plastic surgery at all. At all.
At all.
Yeah, at all. Even
how about minor things like fillers or Botox? Like, how about those?
Things like fillers and Botox. I was just talking about this with Peter. So with Botox, right? And I think, you know, when we want to have the conversation of like plastic surgery, Botox and all of that, I think it might... I don't know. What do you think? Like, I feel like a lot of people think it's like the cool thing to shame plastic surgery and like on all these like cosmetic procedures. And you know, I think a lot of people, like even at home, like the people listening to this right now, I think there's a part of them that might be hoping to hear me go on about how like, no, we shouldn't, we should not be advocating for plastic surgery, Botox, fillers whatsoever. You know, we should love ourselves wholeheartedly, blah, 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 and not do, you know, this and that. When, you know, you have to be careful about demonizing an entire industry, an entire medical practice, right? Yeah. Because, you know, a lot of people, the problem is when you talk about plastic surgery or just like cosmetic procedures in general, people immediately just assume they're thinking about the vain cosmetic enhancing type of plastic surgery, and they forget a lot of the times that no, plastic surgery has a medical purpose, right? Or maybe not a medical purpose, like let's say, I don't know, like an operation on like a cleft plate, or maybe, or even like plastic surgery that's like, you know, for burn victims, for example. Like back in LA, actually one of my friends, like his mom was a burn victim. Oh no. Right? And so, it's the people like her who I've had the honor of meeting in my life that really put things into perspective when I think about this, of just like, man, plastic surgery probably gave her life back, you know, because she was, like the burn was bad.
Did she look good?
You can still tell that there's like something going on here, that she had like definitely cosmetic work done. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know what she looked like back then, obviously, but it's like it's probably a lot better, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like she's a burn victim, so it's like there's only so much that you can do to make it back to normal. Yeah. Right? But so that's why, like, you know, as we're approaching this conversation, I also encourage everybody to like be more nuanced about this, right? But you know, I guess you're talking more about me getting a Botox, like let's say on like my jaw to like make it more chiseled, probably. Yeah. No, I would not do that. But I was talking with Peter about Botox in my armpits.
Wait, what?
Because but the reason is, see, I would get Botox not on my face but on my armpits because bitch, I sweat so much. I sweat so much. It is a fucking rainforest. It's a fucking... I went to this like dermatology clinic here in Jakarta, and I inquired about, you know, how much would Botox
per armpit,
per armpit. And it's, you know, maybe, I don't know if it differs in like, you know, whatever clinic, but at least like, you know, the one that I went to, it's 15 injections per armpit.
Yeah.
And I gotta go back there every 4 to 6 months. And guess how much I would have to pay to come back every 4 to 6 months? Take a guess.
For Botox.
Yeah, for both armpits. To get both armpits done.
5-6 million?
Bitch, 15 million.
No way.
Hand to God.
Oh my God.
My mom and I, we went, excuse me? Are we back in LA? We're in Jakarta. What the fuck you mean 15 million? 15 million every 4 to 6 months just so that I don't fucking sweat like a goddamn rainforest? No. So now I just use MBK and like air tawas. Oh my God. No. Do not laugh at MBK. Do not. No. Put some. No, bitch. Put some respect on my girl MBK's name.
Yeah. Where do you know that?
MBK?
Yeah.
Who doesn't know
What's
MBK?
MBK?
Oh kan nggak tahu kan? Orang Jakarta jarang yang tahu kali.
MBK? Really? Jakartans don't know about MBK?
Where are you from?
I'm from Jakarta, but y'all don't know.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Biasanya tuh orang-orang yang di apalagi air tawas.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh okay. I see. Yeah.
What's MBK?
MBK. I don't know what it stands for, but it's a powder for your body odor. Yeah. And tawas is actually like in its raw form, like a sugary like type of thing, right? But you can go on Shopee. I'm not affiliated with any of them, so really just like go on Shopee, type in air tawas. Yeah, and they mix in the little sugary tawas crystals with like the water. They shake it up. They put it in a spritzel bottle. So what I do now to combat my body odor, this is tip for all of y'all on the internet. If y'all got bad body odor just like me, air tawas, like straight out of the shower, spray it underneath your armpit, right? Like, you know, just flap your wings like a little birdie. You know, let it cool, and then I buy a big tub of MBK, bro, from Century or Guardian or wherever the fuck. My powder puff the shit out of my armpits. I do not sweat. I do not smell for days. It is amazing. And it's so cheap. MBK is only like, dirt cheap. And that's why I guess it's like, yeah, only like uang deso biasanya yang tahu MBK, right? Yeah, no, I was gonna get Botox for my armpits.
So it did not happen.
Of course not. For 15 million every 4 months? Girl, no, I don't got that kind of money. Shit.
A lot of like celebrities and like really big influencers, like they actually get a lot of work done, but you know, sometimes they deny it. Like say like, oh no, I didn't. And that's really toxic because to like, especially younger generations, that they're like, oh, it creates a very unrealistic beauty standard. Because to them, it's like, wait, like, wow, is that person born with just like the perfect chiseled nose, or is that, or did he just like, her body's so perfect and everything? And then, you know, it's bad because these like younger generation kids are like, oh, why don't my body look like that?
Yeah.
Oh, why don't like my nose look like that when I was born? You know, it's creating a very unrealistic beauty standard.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad now. I think it is starting to be considered the cool thing to own up to the fact that you've had work done.
Yeah.
I see a lot of those videos now on TikTok of girls being like, you know, they would get a comment of somebody saying like, oh, you're so beautiful, and then they would reply to that comment in a video, and they would go on about, I've had this done, I've had that done, you know, do this and that.
Yeah. This
and that. So yeah, no, by all means, like, just because I would never get plastic surgery, and again, like, you know, back when I was 18, I would have answered differently. Now I would not at all, like, on any part of my body. But yeah, no, that's not to shame you or anybody else for getting work done.
Yeah.
Right. And it's also, I think, a very important conversation when it comes to this topic is also, I think people kind of tend to overlook, or maybe they just are a little bit in denial of just how important looking good is in order to feel good. And not only to feel good, but to be treated well. Because the unfortunate, harsh reality is, if you are ugly, you get treated like shit.
Yep.
Ya kan, Peter? Right? You get treated like shit. So I also just, I don't blame people for, you know, I don't blame people for getting work done, because sometimes too, I don't know, maybe it's like debatable, because some people would be like, you know, like, I don't know what I have the image in my head. I don't know how to say it. I guess, you know, think of like the average girl, just like literally like an average girl, right? She's not like, she doesn't have like a physical deformity or whatever, but she gets like all of these like work done.
Yeah.
And society, and I think especially when it's women, society's so quick to vilify.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, okay, you know, if she don't get any work done, she gets treated like shit and she's denied opportunity. And by the way, it works the same way with men, right? But then in my experience, I think women tend to be vilified a little bit more. Or do we? Sorry, because I'm thinking as I'm going with this, right? Like, do women get vilified for being more attentive about our appearance and caring more about our appearance compared to men? Or do men get shit on more for that?
No, they do not. But
Really?
we do. Yeah, we get vilified. I mean, like, nowadays, like, being a very high maintenance girl is suddenly a bad thing. Like, it's as if us taking really good care of ourselves is suddenly, you know, oh, she's so vain, she's so narcissistic. It's not looked in a way where, like, oh, she's, you know, taking really good care of herself so that she feels better about herself, so that she feels more confident and more, you know, like a bad bitch. You know?
I will say, like, with women especially, we get vilified for being high maintenance, and at the same time, men want women that are well kept. Hot. No, like, you want women of a certain caliber of like hotness, and like, you know, for, you know, nails gotta be like this, hair gotta be like that, her body gotta be snatched like this, her face gotta be snatched like that. You think that's all? You think we roll out of bed looking like that, bro? You think I came out of the shower looking like that? You know, and sometimes what pisses me off with men, to be honest, like, oh my god, this has happened to so many of my guy friends. And like, you know, any of y'all watching this right now, I love you, right? But y'all fucking stupid. Because they will look at a photo. Like, we were this one time at PIM, kayak gitu.
Yeah.
It's just like a random model for like a apa kayak gitu, right? And we were on the topic of makeup. And this one guy, he was like, see, like, makeup like this, pointing to the photo of like the model.
Yeah.
See, makeup like this, super natural, like barely anything.
Men do not understand how much effort it takes to do a no makeup, I swear.
And it's so... oh my god, see, but Peter's a straight man, even Peter gets it. I'm like, come on, bro, you cannot be that stupid, for love of God, bro. And it's like, sometimes what's really fun, what I like to do with my guy friends is like, you know, today my makeup is not that crazy, not that heavy. I had like, sometimes my makeup is really fucking heavy, right? Right now, it's actually just like medium. But I would go up to my guy friends and I'd be like, how long do you think this mug took?
Yeah.
And they would think, they would think that shit only took like 5 minutes. I'm like, bitch, no, I stood in front of that vanity for like at least 30. And it's like, I think maybe it's also part of like social media has just distorted a lot of people's perception of like, what is natural, right?
Yeah. Oh, you know, the men back then, at least now we're more woke, right? The society is more woke. Yeah. But like back then, if a man is high maintenance, then he is probably not straight.
Right. Yeah. The whole metrosexual. Yeah. Yeah. A metrosexual man. And just the fact, no, I've talked about this before. Just the fact that we had to have a label for a man, a straight man who is attentive of his appearance and like upkeeps his hygiene. The fact that there has to be a label for it, specifically metrosexual, is a little bit funny to me. I'm not gonna lie. Because it's like, okay, then what's the alternative? If you're not a metrosexual man, what are you, a fucking caveman then? You're cave sexual or some shit. Yeah, it's funny. But I think, at least in my opinion, I think it's sort of terlepas kelamin sih, terlepas gender sih. Like, whether you're a man or a woman, and maybe there's like little slight variances depending on which gender, but just in general, we do tend to get a lot of shit, and kind of we get portrayed as these like high maintenance divas that are like super shallow and narcissistic, and like, oh, you just care about your, like, you care so much about your appearance, and people are so quick to have this attitude, which I think comes from denial, right? People are like, ngapain sih peduli banget, apa centil banget, right? Centil's a word, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's, again, try being ugly. You get treated, so bad. Have you had that phase in your life where it's like, you realize, like, you at some point, you became the much hotter version of yourself. You obviously, like, we level up. At some point, you leveled up. Did you ever have like a moment where you're like, yeah, no, I'm getting treated better now.
No, definitely. I do agree because like I didn't feel like I used to be like a pretty kid like growing up. I think I kind of grew up in high school probably. Like I wasn't a pretty kid, and then suddenly in high school I was pretty hot, and suddenly I was getting like a lot of attention. I was getting a lot of validation. I'm like, wow, like I do believe in pretty privilege.
Oh,
like
100%.
Yeah, I do believe that you get treated a lot better when you're when you fit conventionally more, like, when you fit more into the conventional beauty standards.
Well, and it's not even just like, based off of everybody's personal anecdotes, but even like the research has shown, like there's a science to this of like, as humans, we're programmed to have an affinity for beauty, right?
Yeah.
And have the opposite, like we reject anything that is ugly. And unfortunately, we tend to do that even with humans.
Yeah.
Right? And, the whole conversation of like, because I get into such debates with some people of like, oh, sometimes they would tell me sometimes I care a little bit too much, like, oh yeah, I'm doing a little bit too much with my skincare. I'm doing a little bit too much with the makeup. And I care too much about how I physically present, which by the way, like at least with me, I actually don't even think, that's not an opinion I hold of myself. The opinion I hold of myself when it comes to this is that it's like an on and off switch for me. I don't know about you, but like I have days where, and you've seen me on social media.
Yeah.
I look fucking crusted, dusted, busted, girl. I look so ugly, right?
But I thought that was part of like the persona. It was like, I just do not give a fuck.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. So with me, at least personally, it's like a switch where it's like, I can just choose the days where I want to care and not to care.
Yeah.
But it's gotta be, but the thing is, I'm a very hot and cold person. Okay. So it's like, if I don't care, I really gotta not care. That's why I look so fucking crusty and dusty on my Instagram story, like the days where I'm like pimple creams all over, my hair's a fucking mess, kaosnya ada ketchup stain and everything. When I really don't care, I really don't care. But when I care, on the days where I put in a lot more effort when I do put in effort into my appearance, I put in a lot. Yeah. So I'm very hot and cold with that. But then some people, they would comment like, it's just a little bit much. And I guess it's the whole debate of how much is caring too much for your appearance to the extent of it just turning into like a symptom of narcissism or it just starts becoming unhealthy. Because I do agree, some people, they fixate on it too much. Too much.
Have men ever called you high maintenance?
Have you?
A few, yeah.
I feel like you do. You definitely, and I don't say this in a derogatory way or whatever. Like, there's nothing wrong with being high maintenance, but you definitely seem like a high maintenance bitch. But just in the sense of like, you take care of yourself well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's not something I'm ashamed of either. It's like, I'm actually proud of it. I'm actually proud that I take really good care of myself.
Right.
And that makes me feel better about myself too. That makes me feel more confident throughout the day, and that, uplifts my mood so that, I don't look so tired and dead all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think girls should ever be vilified for, putting the work into how they look.
Or even men, you know what? Like, let me get on record and say, like, even men, like, I think it's just, there is a thing of where to some extent, in order to feel good, you need to first look good. Yeah. And some people might have contentions with that, and they might say like, no, like it should all start from within. But let's keep it real. A lot of the times, and especially in certain circumstances or situations, it's hard for it to come from within. Yeah. You need the extra reinforcement to come from the outside first
too. Yeah.
And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think people just have different like, I guess, methods of how to achieve feeling good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I remember that scene. Did you watch Totally Spice?
I did.
Do you remember the scene where
which one?
The one, that girl, the bully with the black hair,
the purple one.
The purple one.
Yeah,
the purple one. And she broke her nail.
Mandy.
Her name's Mandy.
I think it was Mandy.
I can't believe y'all remember that, but yeah, Mandy. And she broke her nail, and then she fell to the ground very dramatically and started crying. And she's like, "How can I feel good if I don't look good?" That's what I was thinking about when I was writing this. Of like, actually, Mandy has a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't Barbie say that too?
Where?
The part where like she was crying that she wasn't feeling good, and then she looked ugly, and then the part where like, oh yeah, we picked the wrong actress for this because Margot Robbie always looks hot.
I think that's more of like that's more of like imposter syndrome, gak sih? Because Barbie just like didn't believe that she was beautiful, even though she was, but it wasn't. She was saying like, oh, in order for me to feel good, I have to look good. I think it kind of they interchangeable, gak sih?
Yeah.
Right. But it's also true that with some people in other cases, it's like you could look physically just like the best.
Yeah.
Like you could be fucking symmetrical to fucking perfection, chiseled like a Greek god statue. But it's like if you don't love yourself first, like that's not gonna translate out.
Yeah. Just like, you know, have you seen the like even like Megan Fox's Insecurities? You know, like
what are her insecurities?
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like she actually said in an interview that like she actually has a lot of like insecurities, like, you know, about like this and that. I can't remember what it was, but can you imagine that like someone that we thought was like the epitome of beauty,
I mean,
still does not look like, she does not like the way she looks.
Right. I mean, Megan Fox, for anybody who's not aware, I think at some point she was like voted the sexiest woman in the world. Yeah. And for fucking good reasons. Yeah, shit, I'd bang that. But yeah. I get to say that because I'm a woman. So yeah. So you'd get your nose done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's been stopping you? Why haven't you gotten it done yet?
I don't know. I'm trying to like pluck up the courage, I guess. Like not.
What's your concern?
That's gonna hurt, first of all, because I have really low pain tolerance.
Do you?
I do.
As
I
a woman?
cry a lot. I cry a lot.
I mean, emotional. I mean, I'm talking about physical pain, like you and shit.
no, legit physical pain too.
Okay.
Like I have low pain tolerance, and then I don't think I'm mentally prepared for it yet.
Why do you say that?
I don't know.
Like, do you fear the regret aspect of it too? Of like, what
probably,
if, right?
Yeah.
No, because that's definitely, you know what? I want to put this on record. And at the end of the day, you know, for everybody listening to this at home, y'all do whatever you want with your body. Again, you want go for the double D tits and like the Brazilian butt lifts. Actually, don't go for the Brazilian butt lifts because those are actually really dangerous. They've like killed people. They've killed people. But like everything else, do whatever you want. But I'm just, you know, from my own personal experience of like going from somebody who, 18, 19-year-old me, like if you had presented me with the immediate opportunity to go under the knife, I would have taken it. Now I'm not like that. And you would be so surprised. And maybe some people from the body positivity movement may not want to hear me say this. You would be so surprised of how much better you can look by just literally focusing on your diet and losing weight.
Yeah.
You know,
makes a lot of difference.
It makes so much difference. Like a lot of times you don't gotta go under the knife, just lose some weight.
Yeah.
Like, okay, depending on what it is, right? Because a lot of people, and I mean, like, let's keep it real, right? The reason why I was saying losing weight is not because I'm fucking fat phobic. Don't go there. But it's because we still live in a society where, you know, you still have skinny privilege. Like being skinny, let's call it like it is. A lot of people would, you know, maybe if they don't say it out loud, but they'll be thinking it's better to be skinny than to be fat, right? So we still live in the kind of society, like all around the world, where it's like, yeah, it's just better to be on the skinnier end, and people are still actively trying to pursue skinniness, right? And so a very common thing, and because this is where I used to be at, right? I used to want to do the whole, apa sih namanya, Peter? Yang potong ini, potong dagu. Kan muka aku lingkar nih, ya kan? Muka aku kan lingkar, so it's like I wanted to be tirus gitu. Like more like V-shape. You know those like the Chinese Koreans get? Yeah. So I used to want to do that, right? And again, because I hated my round face.
Yeah.
But I used to be like round. And really, bitch, all I needed to do, lose some weight. Lose some weight. Even with like, you know, the cheekbones and everything, and just, and just the way that you glow differently of just after taking care of your diet.
True.
And all of that. And so I encourage people, again, at the end of the day, do what you want, but definitely wait. I'm so glad, because for so many years I waited, right? Because I knew I wanted it, but I would wait, and I would sleep on it, and I just keep sleeping on it. And then one day I woke up, I just deadass did not want it anymore.
Yeah, see, I'm waiting for that. I'm actually waiting for that. Like I will, like right now, honestly, my nose, I don't like it, but also it's not something that's like I'm constantly like, fuck, I hate my nose. Like I need to get it done. It's nothing like that. It's just more like whenever I look at a picture of myself, I'm like, I really don't like how my nose looks like right now. Right. I'll probably get it changed, but it's still something that's still in consideration.
Right.
Yeah. Because do you actually know, like, there's this back then there's this thing that they sell on Shopee, which is like apa mancung hidung. Have you seen it?
Yeah, this one.
It's like this tool that's like pink, and then like it basically like it says it lifts your nose like overnight, and then if you sleep with it overnight, then the next morning you wake up with like chiseled nose. Did not work, obviously scam.
Yeah.
But like, duh.
Shit.
But still, that was like so like I saw the product right like on the Shopee ad, and it was like berapa ribu terjual. Like so many people are obsessed with it.
You would be so surprised at how easy it is to manipulate people into giving them your money with the fake promise of aesthetic enhancement.
Yeah.
I think I am a confident person, but that doesn't mean, and like I love how I look. To be honest to God, like even though maybe that sounds conceited, and it's not meant to sound conceited, but I do like how I look. I like my face. For the most part, I like my body. For the most part, I say it for the most part because sometimes you just have those days where you don't feel.
Yeah.
You're not feeling it, you know.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of, that's probably out of 10 days, that's probably only 2 to 3, and then like the other 8 to 7, I'm feeling great, and I like how I look in the mirror, and so I'm just genuinely, I'm so glad I'm at a place in life, like I'm at a version of myself where I'm content with how I physically look. Yeah. But I've also just realized like the value of more sentimental reasons, which I guess I see, because I was having a conversation with my best friend Deandra, right? She said this one thing to me when we were having this conversation, and I've never thought about it before. And ever since she said it, now I can't not think about this point of view when talking about plastic surgery, where she said, let me just quote her, right? I like the idea that my face has the features of past family members / ancestors.
Yeah.
Kind of like it's a part of history. Like my eyes remind me of my grandma, etc. And if I change them, then I lose that, right?
Yeah.
So it also just got me thinking about how the implications of you directly hating yourself also means indirectly hating those that come before you.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about that, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, like.
Yeah, I guess. So in a way, so say it's nose, then also like
where did you get your nose from? Do you know?
My mom, I think.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
And then I'll lose my part of like her
on you,
on me. Yeah.
And but also, I mean, do you think your mom looks ugly? Do you think her nose is ugly?
I don't, exactly. I just don't like it on me. That's the
right.
Yeah.
That's also the thing that I started realizing, right? Because like, for example, like even with my eyes, right? There was a point where I really did not like my eyes. At least like from the nose up, I'm like the splitting image of my grandmother. Like the eyes are completely my grandmother's, right? And I look at a photo of my grandma and I'm like, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So it's like that. Why is it when it's on us suddenly we're like,
yeah.
Right? Who do you look like the most, Peter?
Profilnya kayak papaku, tapi apa ya? Iya kayak mamaku sih gitu.
What does that even mean? What does profile mean?
Face structure.
Like the shape?
Yeah.
The shape of your...
Ya kayak shape-nya, terus apa ya? Jadi kalau lihat, oh ini papaku nih dari bentuk strukturnya. Cuma kalau dari mukanya lebih mirip ke mamaku.
Oh, that's interesting. What about you? Who do you look
I have
like?
both, I think, because like my nose is from my mom, but then my lips is from my dad. So it's a whole mix. Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I don't look like my... Well, okay, I guess to be fair, I've never met my dad, so I don't know what he looks like, to be honest. But I don't look anything like my mother. But, other people in the family, they told me I am the splitting image of my grandma. So I'm one of those people, like, I don't look like my parents. I look like the grandparents.
Your grandma, yeah.
Yeah, which sometimes happens. Yeah, sometimes it happens. The weird ones are like when there's that one kid that just doesn't look like anybody, and you wonder how they got there. You know those people?
Yeah.
I have that one friend. For the longest time, everybody thought she was adopted. Nothing wrong with being adopted. I want to adopt kids, but it's like, yeah, how does that happen?
Would you ever adopt a kid?
If I decide that I want to have children, I want to adopt.
Not have your own.
Oh God, no.
Okay.
And that's not to shame pregnant women. Obviously not. It's just like I don't know how bad this is for me to say. I might get canceled for this, so be it. But like, I am too selfish in the sense of I know pregnancy is gonna wreck my body, and I have worked so hard to like my body, man. And I put in hours at the gym, bro. Like obviously, like the way I'm positioned right now, like y'all don't see it, but I have a fucking 4-pack, okay? Like I am ripped, I am toned, my body looks good, my abs look good. I know pregnancy gonna ruin that. I don't love nobody, not even my fucking future hypothetical kid, enough for me to give that up. So no.
How about a surrogate then?
A surrogate?
Yeah.
Surrogacy could work. I would just have to really like. It's got to be somebody, I guess, that. Point being, to really ensure that it is done in the most ethical way possible that honors the surrogate as well. Because I've done a lot of research of how like the surrogacy industry, like there's a lot of like exploitation going on, as people can imagine. So. But doing it ethically, I'm open. I'm 100% open. I gotta like find the right person, and we gotta go about it like like an ethical way. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. I've always thought I actually like people who would consider adopting because like I feel like it's very egotistical to be like, oh, I want to procreate because I want another version, like a small version of me. Like if I want to like have a kid, I would love, this kid. I would like like his or her company. Like I do not care if she's not related to me by blood at all. Like I will still love this child. Right. Unconditionally.
Yeah, no, I mean, oh, and God, there was literally just today. Did y'all hear the news about the babies in Bogor that were switched at birth?
Oh, what happened?
Ketukar. Di rumah sakit.
After a year.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's like literally that TV show. I don't know.
The switched at birth.
Yeah, but like in real life and in Bogor. Yeah.
Did they switch it back?
Yeah, they literally just today, right? Because they did like a DNA test or whatever, and like it's like 99%.
Wait, so how old is kid now?
1 year.
Yeah, kan?
Oh.
Yeah. Which I don't know. This is gonna be a really unpopular opinion, but I read that and I was kind of like, why does that even matter? Just because it's like I don't know. To be honest, like okay, maybe the part that I'm overlooking is that these women gave birth to the child, right? And there is, I think, I don't want to shun away the fact that like there is like the sort of like bond between like the mother that gave birth to you, like literally there is like that apa sih hubungan batin? Hubungan ada kan? Batin, sorry, ada hubungan batin. So like maybe that's the part that I'm not thinking about. So yeah, that's probably it. But I guess like if it were me, but I also don't know. I can't say that because it's never been me.
Yeah.
Tapi kasihan anaknya ntar kalau sekolah kalau nggak mirip sama orang tuanya kan anak siapa lu gitu.
Oh yeah, that's true. Kind of like my friend. But I feel like that a lot of that just comes from like a place of like internalized discrimination towards adopted kids.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not. Then the solution to that would not be to avoid having children that do not look like the parents and having people make assumptions that they're adopted, but rather to educate people that hey, there's nothing wrong with you being an adopted child. Yeah. People get addicted to plastic surgery.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
Or not even just plastic surgery. Like, actually, hold on. What's the difference between saying like plastic surgery and like cosmetic surgery?
I'm not exactly sure.
Well, okay, plastic surgery. Botox is not plastic surgery, but it's a cosmetic procedure. Yeah. So plastic surgery is a type of cosmetic procedure. So I guess the umbrella term would be cosmetic procedure, right?
Yeah, or getting anything done, basically.
Yeah, you're just getting anything done. People get addicted to that.
Yeah, they do.
So it's also, I think about, do you guys remember Eugene Lee Yang? Yeah. From BuzzFeed. Yang Try Guys
ya.
Dulunya berempat, sekarang bertiga. Yeah, because he cheated on his wife.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was yeah. But not to talk about that. Eugene, which I mean, I think everybody knows, or at least has seen Eugene Lee Yang somewhere on the internet. Like the man is fucking gorgeous, right? Like God really made Eugene and was like, I'm gonna make you the sexiest motherfucker, and like within a 5-kilometer radius, like it's crazy hot. And I remember there was this one video that the Try Guys put out, the one where they went to the plastic surgeon. Did you watch that one?
I have not.
They went to a plastic surgeon and they didn't get plastic surgery, but they went to the plastic surgeon to basically, they could do like a mock-up of like, this is what you would look like after like all of these, like based on my expert opinion of like what would make you more attractive. And then, you know, he actually does like the final draft of it, and then they get to see visually like what they would look like after plastic surgery. And then I remember, because this was really like a monumental moment for me, especially because when I watched it, I was like maybe 15, 16 years old, so very young, very impressionable, right? And Eugene, his after photo came out. Mind you, his before is already
yeah, he is. He's a fine man,
oh, so fucking fine, right? And then his after came out. Number one, to be honest, there is this thing, I guess, where it's like the conversation of beauty's in the eyes of the beholder, right? Because I love, we love Eugene, not just, I mean, yeah, acknowledging that he's hot, but also like the other things that make him him, and like we associate those positive things with that look. And then when anything gets done, you don't associate that beauty with it anymore. As in, sometimes I've met the people where it's like, I liked you better before your plastic surgery, because I associated that face
with you,
that old face, with like something. I'm not putting this very eloquently. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I get it.
Right? It's my memory of like when we did this together, or like, you know, my memory of you doing this and I really love that you did that, or, you know, blah blah blah, is associated with your old face. And then when you get a new face, you don't feel the same way anymore. So I remember, number one, that's kind of how I felt with all the Try Guys. Actually, I didn't like any of their after photos, because I'm like, that's not them. In your head, you're like, that's not them. But Eugene, his reaction when he saw his after photo, he said that his eyes immediately went to all of the things that are still wrong and that he still wants to further like improve on.
Wow.
Right? So, and that kind of like, and I remember like the comments were just like talking about that one moment, just because it, and especially at that time, it was probably like only 2014, 2015, you know? People were not as woke. And and people were just like talking about that, of how it goes, I guess it goes to show you just always want what you don't have.
Exactly. And plus, like, once I don't know if it's the same as tattoos, you know, like people when they get tattoos, they get one and then they continuously get more.
Right,
I don't know if that's the same way with plastic surgery too.
I heard that with tattoos, like with the people that form an addiction with tattoos, is because they are addicted to the pain, not because of the aesthetics. But
is it not?
What do you mean? Is it not?
No, I mean, like, are people actually addicted to the pain?
Yeah.
That sounds kind of psycho.
No, people are. There are psycho people out there. Yeah, they're addicted to the pain of getting tattoos, not so much of like the aesthetics, or maybe some people, they're like they jerk off to how good they look with tattoos, and so they want to just keep getting more and more. Maybe,
I don't know, but does that work the same way? Do you think so for like cosmetic procedure? It's like they've already got like one thing, they've done it once, they've gone under the knife once, and they're like, oh, there's still more that I want to get done.
In my opinion, I think because they're addicted to, I guess, and this is where like different personalities kick in, because I think some people, if they go under the knife, and then you could either perceive it in two ways, right? Of like, shit, I don't really like how this looks, or maybe it's like, damn, I really, really love how this looks, and you get that dopamine kick. You get that big ass dopamine hit, and that's when like it kind of starts forming an addiction, right? Because you're trying to achieve that same dopamine hit that you got when you first like
went under the knife.
You went under the knife and you saw how good you look after. I think based on research too, that's what I gathered.
Chasing after the next high.
Perfection. Chasing after the next high.
But end up like Squidward.
Oh,
you mean the Squidward, the one that he got? It's very kotak and stuff.
Very
that one. I used to wear full makeup to school, like to uni. Like I had morning classes, right? But I would go to class in like full makeup.
How long would that take in the morning? Be honest.
I don't know, about 30 minutes to an hour. About there,
Bitch, I used to take. Believe it or not, I have. What's the longest you've ever like put on makeup?
The longest I've ever put on makeup, 2 hours probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would actually go through all that effort to like put on makeup to go to class like in the morning, just to feel better about myself like throughout the day, because it's gonna affect my mood for the whole day when I'm not.
Right.
Yeah, especially when when you're not wearing makeup, then like like actual no makeup, and then like actual, and then guys would come up to you and be like, "You look sick and tired today, and you look dead today."
Yeah. Actually, yeah. At some point, I've gotten that comment from a lot of women where it's like, I just put on makeup so that I avoid that comment because it's annoying. Yeah.
You know what? I'm actually happy about TikTok nowadays. Like, you're no longer going for like the full face makeup look. Like, now TikTok has like a lot of natural makeup tutorials, like especially like, you know, the Hailey Bieber, you know, glazed donut makeup, where it's basically just like a few dots of concealer and like a little lip gloss and like that's it. You know, like the clean girl aesthetic and all that. Yeah, so it's like, I like that people are leaning more into like the, you know, the less is more kind of mentality nowadays, that like, you know, instead of like, so now we're like promoting you know, taking really good care of your skin and then putting very minimal makeup instead of like, you know, making a whole makeup tutorial that requires like a gazillion million products like on your face. You know?
Do y'all remember back in 2016? This
which one?
Makeup back in 2016.
Yeah.
Peter's straight, so he doesn't know this. Like, have you seen like Western makeup, like the trend of Western makeup back in 2016? Oh, do you remember the Anastasia dip brow?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Back in
the Kylie lip kit.
The Kylie lip kit had me by the fucking like chokehold by the neck, bitch. Oh my god, the Anastasia dip brow. Do you remember the Becca champagne pop
highlighter? I still have it. I don't know. It's in my drawer somewhere.
Bitch, that shit's expired.
I know it definitely is. I haven't thrown it away.
Oh my god, no! Get rid of all your expired makeup. That shit's nasty as fuck. But yeah, no. But you know, at the same time, I mean, yes, there is the good part about how we're in the clean girl era, focus on skincare, minimal makeup, embracing your natural features and all that. At the same time, I don't want to vilify the girls that wear a lot of makeup because you know, part of me, I'm still that girl, right? And I'm part of me that is still that girl because I've always just been very adventurous and creative and bold with my makeup, right? It's, you know, makeup is also, as much as it does serve a utility function to look good, or as much as, sometimes, you know, unfortunately people use it to cover up insecurities. A lot of other people like me, you know, we use it to express ourselves.
True.
Right? It is a creative outlet. Your face is a canvas.
Yeah.
So I also just don't want us to head towards the direction where, you know, in the name of embracing natural features, we are, you know, villainizing
makeup.
Makeup, especially the more, I guess, creative, artistic type like form of makeup, because that's still that I don't want people to lose sense of how makeup is also just for fun. You can also just have fun with your makeup. You know, sometimes this was me back in college, like when my makeup used to be like really bold, and I used to be so much more adventurous with my makeup. And that's what I was posting on my story the other day, right? Of like, I feel like I've lost that. I've lost touch with that side of me. Of like, I used to rock out the fucking yellow, green, purple eyeshadow. Like, you know, I used to Euphoria. I used to go to campus every day looking like, you know, fucking Euphoria. I would be doing makeup at like 2 a.m. Like, I don't even got nowhere to go. Like, I just wanted to like play around.
Yeah, I get that.
Right? And I think I've lost touch with that, and I'm trying to like get back into it more and like get back into like the bolder colors and, you know, put some like rhinestones or whatever graphic liners, right? I used to do the whole like blue eyeliner under the eyes. It was like so it popped so much, you know? Yeah. What do you think of like filters?
Filters.
Not filters like injection filters. I'm talking about like,
I know.
Yeah.
Like
phone.
Beauty filters, right?
Beauty filters, yeah.
Yeah. Beauty filters. I actually don't mind them because I actually do use beauty filters on like my videos. Especially like, you know, on those days where you're just not feeling it. Like you're just having like your skin is just not looking great, or I'm just way too lazy to put on makeup.
Right.
And then I'm like, you know what, let me just put a little bit of beauty filter on. But that's where I draw the line, because when it comes to beauty filters, I do not like filters that like change your like facial features or like changes like your face shape or makes you look like a whole different person.
Right.
Like I like obviously I like filters that gives me like, you know, a little color on like my cheeks or like a little touch of eyeshadow, like those makeup filters. To me, those are still fine because it just enhances your natural features, but it doesn't exactly make you look completely different. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. What about you?
I don't use beauty filters at all. Yeah, I've never, even like Instagram stories. But you know, I will say part of it is also the beauty filters on Instagram. I don't know what it is. They look so bad on me.
On like even good lighting?
Yeah. I look weird. I was thinking about it, right? Is it because I used to put on beauty filters for sure. I look back at like my old photos, like, were you on Snapchat?
Yeah, of course.
Girl, Snapchat was like the gateway drug when it came to like and the beauty filter thing. It started with that fucking Snapchat. The filter of the dog
filter. Yeah.
Oh God, it started with that one. That was the gateway drug. That was the gateway drug. Oh God. Yeah, I know. So of course, right? But I think for me, when did I stop? I made the conscious decision to stop using beauty filters because I started being more hyper aware of just like how I'm contributing to, I think, a really huge problem on social media of just like setting, I guess, unrealistic expectations of beauty. That's my biggest contention with beauty filters, and that's why I actively, when and if I can help it, I turn off all the beauty filters. Like these Sony ZV cameras, like they have the Peter skin retouch kayak gitu. These are I turn soft skin filter. Yeah, I turn that shit off. And malah, and I think now where I'm at is because I'm so used to seeing myself without the beauty filters, without the retouching, right? And I've gotten to a place where I've customized myself to that. I'm now familiar and comfortable with that. Now when I do see myself with a filter, and I'm like, okay, shit, that's a little bit weird. That's how I feel. Because the other day, someone took a selfie with me, like a fan. Yeah. And they posted it on their Instagram story, and I posted it on my Instagram story, and I could immediately see, this is a filter on me because I don't look like that. And I think it looks really weird. But I got a lot of DMs from followers saying, oh my God, your makeup here looks so good. Yeah, your makeup looks so good. You look so fresh. Because I think some of my followers couldn't recognize that there was a filter on, which kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Huh. I get what you mean, like with the Snapchat thing, because honestly, that dog filter, that was no after the dog. Went through that phase.
Picture with that dog filter.
No, and then after the dog filter was the flower filter, like that too.
Yes. Oh my God, that was like every girl's rite of passage on social media or something, like to have the filter with the dog, the flower crown.
Yeah. But it was to the point where like, I didn't even recognize myself anymore when I'm using a regular camera. Because I was like already so used to looking myself in the filter and like, oh, she's so pretty. And then after I turn it off, I'm like, I feel so bad about myself.
Yes.
Like, that's how addicting that was. It actually took me a long while to actually, like, took the courage to like go back to like the usual regular iPhone, selfie camera.
Right. Yeah. I've had that. So I've gone both. I've like done the whole like round trip of because of the like it started with Snapchat for me, right? And then at some point I started realizing, shit, I don't like how I look with like, just naturally like the regular camera. So I forced myself to get accustomed to myself with the regular camera. Now when I put a beauty filter on, I don't like how I look. Yeah. Which I guess is
it's a good thing.
I think that is a good thing. And you were mentioning earlier about TikTok, right? Yeah. The one thing I really, really love about TikTok, it lets you know that there's a filter.
Oh, you mean the yellow thing?
The yellow
on the bottom
on top. Yeah. So if you put on a beauty filter, it disclaims it automatically. You don't have the option to not have that on.
No, but technically, if you use the beautify on the right, it does not notify anyone. So there is still another, you know what I mean, right? There's like another beauty filter on the right that like you can just adjust like and it's really bad. It was like face shape, eye shape, like every single shape there is that you want to change about your face, you could do it, like nose shape and everything. And that does not disclose it.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I take it back then. I take it back. TikTok. Yeah, no, see, that's my contention as well with social media, is that there's no form of public disclaimer that these filters are being put, because I don't the same thing with plastic surgery. I don't have an issue with you putting on beauty filters and doing plastic surgery and anything to enhance your cosmetic procedures, but at least be honest about it.
Yeah,
it creeps me out how I've even like some of my photos on Instagram where I feel like it's obvious that it's Facetune, because I used to do Facetune like to fucking filth, right? I think, you know, when I started gaining followers and everything, and I don't think people realize that that's Facetuned. I don't think people realize that, oh yeah, no, this photo definitely, like, I went through the Facetune app and I smoothened the skin out a little bit to get rid of that oil shine. You know, I hid one pimple. I deleted one pimple. I don't think people realize.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's my contention with it, really. So I don't know, maybe people will say I sound like a pick-me girl and, you know, or whatever, but it's just, for me personally, it's like a very strict, non-negotiable personal moral value of mine. I just never use beauty filters. Like, ever.
As much, like, I don't use a lot of beauty filter like I used to back then, but I still do like minor tweaks, like say I have like a small pimple here, I get rid of it, or like my under eyes are just not looking great today, and I get rid of it, you know, like these tiny things, like I like hyperfixating, like you told you, like you said just now, so those are like still things I still need to work on. So any tips on like, you know, like how to like really be on like a beauty filter detox then?
Beauty filter detox, huh? You can, you know, take a video or like or photos of yourself with like just your regular iPhone camera, no filters, no nothing.
Yeah.
You don't even have to post it, but just literally just, I guess, I know it's gonna sound weird, but stare at yourself. Like just and just do it often enough until you get acclimatized to that version of you. Yeah. That's what, because honestly, that's what I did.
And just now I asked the filter detox, and then you told me just try to like acclimate yourself to like try to take selfies, and then like just try to look at it more often, and like get yourself used to it.
Or why not just bite the bullet and just upload your next video without any filters on? Because what in your head, what's the worst thing that can happen?
I think it's more like, I feel like I'm stuck because like back then I used to use beauty filters, right? And then I feel like if suddenly out of nowhere my beauty filters are gone, I'm scared that like people would think I'm a fraud. Like shit, she used to look like this. Why does she look different and not as pretty now?
Right.
You know? I think it's also like, you know, there are some creators that they only make videos when they've done a full face makeup. Like they only, you know, shoot content. Not you though, because you do not give a fuck at all.
Definitely not me.
Exactly. But there are actually some that, you know, we dress up first before, you know, we start, you know, to put on our cameras and everything. And once you're already used to that and your audience is already used to like looking at you in that way, it's hard for you to like suddenly not wear makeup on like a bad day, and then suddenly it's you look completely different.
Right. And actually, now that you say that, it makes me so grateful that when I did start getting on the internet, it was already at the phase in my life where I did not feel the need to use beauty filters. And so I started my career no filters. Literally and metaphorically no filters, and so I'm not trapped in that sort of, do you see what I mean? Like, you're kind of putting it crassly, I think you're trapped in your lie. Not that it's a lie, but then it's like there's no way for you to not expose the fact that you have been lying all this time, right? So I guess that's why it's like, you know, for anybody watching or listening to this, and you know, if any of you plan on becoming content creators, like, you know what, I started off, that's why honesty is just like the best policy, right? When you put it that way, because if you've been honest from the very start, like, you don't got nothing to lose. But then, you know, when you've done all this work to, you know, cover this up and cover that up, and it's like you got a lot more, and it's a lot of effort too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it for this episode, you guys. Be sure to like, comment, and fucking subscribe, you cunts. And of course, thank you so much for being here, Miss Jasmine girl.
Thank you for having me. I am so honored. My very first podcast.
And you did great.
Thank you. Took away my podcast virginity.
So, yes. Links, everything down below. And anyways, you guys, bye.